What is going on, everybody? Philip here from the Figure Bros, bringing you guys another review. Today we are taking a look at the highly anticipated brand new SH Figuarts Zarbon's True Power. This was a premium Bandai exclusive, and it just showed up at my door literally 30 minutes ago. So I figured let's go ahead and get them right there on the rotator and go ahead and get this review started. So please do me the big favor. Hit that like button if you're new. Consider hitting that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you guys never miss when Jared or I drop a video. This is a figure that I'm very much anticipating. I have definitely some high hopes for. SH Figuarts, for the most part, have done these bigger characters, these big body characters, very, very well. I think of like characters like Full Power Frieza or Orange Piccolo, and something about just Dragon Ball Z will just always hold a special place in my heart. It's the first true anime that I watch. Dragon Ball, not so much. Dragon Ball Super, not so much either. But Dragon Ball Z has a very special place in my heart. So I am very excited for this figure. This is definitely something I wanted in my collection. I pre-ordered the day one. Very much anticipated this figure. So let's not rattle on too much. Let's go ahead and get him out of the box. And like we always do, take a look at Articulation first and see if this character actually does live up to the hype. All right, now that we got Zarbon out of the box, like we always do, let's go ahead and take a look at Articulation, because let me tell you, after Articulation, we got a lot to talk about. So let's go ahead and move through the Articulation part pretty quickly here, because there's not much new here except for one or two things. So starting off with the head, see if the camera wants to focus. There we go. Get the camera to focus. We'll lift it up for you guys. All right, so the head, this is a little weird, but he can look down about that much and he can look up about that much. What he can do, though, is it's kind of like a turtle in his shell almost. So it can, like, his head can sink in like this and can come out like that, which is a little weird, by the way, too. Like, it definitely should have made the neck a lot longer. Again, I'll talk a little bit more about the details of this figure because there are a lot of major red flags with this figure. I am happy to say the one improvement they did make is with these armor pieces, the Saiyan armor pieces. They actually have hinges on the back, which is nice, so they can do that, which is good because of when you're doing Articulation, it moves up with the Articulation. Of course, it's not going to be the most prettiest because when you do that, there's obviously the major gapping in the armor, but it can move up, which is nice because, you know, if you are trying to do some kind of poses, the armor pieces don't fall off like they used to with some of those older figures. Think of like the Ginyu Force or the regular Zarbon that they used to make back in the day, a couple of years ago, really. You can see the butterfly joint. So it comes out like that. Shoulders pop out like that. Bicep cut, double jointed elbows. Pretty much standard for SH. And we get a hinge right there on the wrist, which moves pretty well. So again, things that we've come to know and like from SH Figuarts. That's actually some good news there. Ab crunch he can do. It's such a weird figure here. He can do about ab crunch about that good, you know, not much there going on, and he can look back about that much. Again, there's really not a whole lot going on there. For the legs, which are all about 3 inches long each, he can do about the splits about that much, and he can kick out about that much right there, and he can kick back about that much right there. Thigh cut, double jointed knees, which work pretty well, and of course the standard toe hinge ankle rocker, which can look up about that and down about that. I will say another positive about this figure before I get into the negatives, because there are a lot of negatives, is his center of gravity is really good for a bigger figure. So he can pretty much just kind of stand pretty easily just like that. I do like that. That's actually pretty good. Let's talk about the details, the aesthetics of the figures, and let's talk about some major flaws, because there are some major flaws here. And this is yet another example of SH Figuarts, I believe, kind of going backwards, not forward with their figures. And what I mean by that is the last couple of releases lately, and the fact that they're charging us way more money for these figures, I'm not seeing improvement on these figures. I'm actually seeing quite the opposite. What I am seeing is them taking a big step backwards. Who I am seeing taking a leap forward, a massive leap forward, are all these third-party companies. And if Bandai's not careful, they're going to lose a lot of business going forward, because they are charging way more figures, but I'm not seeing improvements. I'm not seeing extra accessories. I'm not seeing better quality figures here. Instead, I'm seeing garbage like this. This is a garbage figure, and I'm going to go ahead and explain all of it. I want to put up a full side-by-side. I'm going to move them over here. I'm going to put up a side-by-side about right here in just 1 second of what Zarbon's supposed to look like. This figure, by the way, is way too short and way too wide. His proportions are like just absolutely horrendous. Now I'm going to show you the full view of him. So his proportions are just absolutely terrible. His legs are way too short. His chest, way too freaking wide. Zarbon is definitely a bigger character, but he's also like a foot and like almost like 2-3 feet taller than Vegeta. For example, here is your standard SH Figuarts Vegeta. He is way too short in my opinion. Zarbon should be at least about another foot taller, about right here. For another example, here's another size comparison. Here's Orange Piccolo. Here is the size, by the way, he should have been. If you can't see, there's Piccolo's head right there. Zarbon's head comes about to Orange Piccolo's shoulders. This is the size, by the way, he should have been. He should have been about approximately the length of Piccolo. We will get right back to the review. Kind of want to just really drive this point home for you guys. Okay, here are two photos of the fight that Zarbon and Vegeta had. Notice the photo on the left, how Vegeta's head comes down to Zarbon's stomach. And Zarbon, by the way, is hunched over in that photo. Knees bent, shoulders drop down a little bit, torso crunched in. Notice how like bigger Zarbon is, even on the photo on the right too. If you look at that one, look where Vegeta's head comes and look where his legs end. Basically just right above Zarbon's kneecaps. Again, this proportion of this figure is so freaking bad that it really just drives home the point that this figure, the legs should have been another inch or two longer. The torso should have definitely been a little bit taller, and the chest should have been shrunken just a little bit. These proportions are so bad, and I really wanted to drive it home with these photos. His legs definitely need to be a little bit longer. His neck definitely needs to be a little bit longer. He does not have a short, stout neck like this. I also don't like too that they definitely have reused a lot of parts here. I definitely like that the new updated Saiyan armor pieces, you know, I like that hinge right there, because the old hinge that we used to have, where is it? Where is it? I have them up here somewhere. There we go. All right, here's the old ones that used to have. So you used to have that like that ugly hinge right there, but of course when you used to do that, sometimes these would pop off pretty easily. Now some people may actually prefer these ones, that's okay. I do like this one. I think it's a little bit of an update because you can pretty much pose it however you want. The other major flaw that I do see with this figure is this right here. Here's one of the accessories he comes with. This is their thick purple cape, which is the same cape that was used on Piccolo, and I also believe was the same cape as King Cold. It pops right here in the back, and this is and also his whole armor pieces kind of come off like that, so you guys can just pretty much pop it in like that, and then pretty much pop in his armor pieces like so. There we go. Oh, it's actually, I have it backwards. There we go. All right, so the reason why I don't like this is because I just prefer a cloth cape. I can't get more dramatic poses. I don't like this static, thick plastic cape it comes with. It also is very cheap. And again, just something that just kind of shows that they're in the past. They've already made a cloth cape before with Gohan. I don't know why this is still coming with a plastic cape. I know their new figure, the new release on Premium Man, I believe it's Shallot. He comes with full cloth goods. I don't know why Zarbon couldn't get a cloth cape. That's also another major flaw. The other thing is just the proportions. Like you guys see with the proportions that we actually get like no articulation whatsoever. So again, when you look at a figure like, where was he again? Orange Piccolo. Orange Piccolo has some of the best articulation for a figure his size. Ab crunch, you barely get any with that Zarbon. This one, you get a good ab crunch right there. With the splits, again, the size of this figure, again, just way better articulation. This Zarbon articulation is just absolute trash. It's really just not that good. And again, it's just proportionally just way, way off. Zarbon was, like I said, 2 feet taller than Vegeta already. When he gets into this final form in the Dragon Ball Z series, he doesn't lose height. He gets, he keeps the same height. He doesn't get this wide either. I'm pretty sure too that also this is like the same center frame that was used on Dodoria as well too, which is again proportionally just inaccurate. Another thing too is the details on SH Figuarts. SH Figuarts needs to do a better job with their paint quality, man. Let's just zoom in on the face. Let's just try to get right there with them. All right. So for example, all these little like dots that are all over him should have been shaded a different green, I guess, whatever. Should have not been the same tone as his flesh. Should have been just a little bit different. The black on, the green hair that he has should have some shades of like black in it to kind of show off a little more of the details. Same thing with the eyeliner. The decals look a little funky. His face in general just looks a little funky to me. It just looks really, really mushed. And that probably is because, again, they use the same tone flesh for everything. There is no shading. There is no compensation. There is no, like, extra step of a detail that is with this figure. That kind of just makes this figure fall flat on its face. That's another thing. So that's it for, like, the details and the aesthetic of this figure. Just not very pleasing at all. And again, the proportions are just way off. This figure should have been taller. His legs should have definitely been an extra inch. I mean, his legs are like 3 inches long, man. That should have been an extra inch right there. That right there would have made this figure actually a little bit better. And just also too, I'm all for, you know, making bigger figures. This is just a little too big, even for Zarbon. Shrink this down just a little bit to have it proportionally accurate with the figure itself. This looks like they took Zarbon's like upper body and just, I don't even know who's down here. Maybe full power Frieza, maybe. I don't know, because this looks like, it feels like there's some reused parts outside of these pieces right here. For the accessories, obviously we get that crappy plastic cape, which I showed off. The other 2 accessories we get are 2 pieces of his hair, which peg in the back pretty easily. For face plates is another problem I have too. We get good face plates, right? We get one right there. We get a second one right there. And then we get this one right here. I'm gonna explain a little bit more about this in a second. For hands, we get 2 pairs of hands. I like this hand a lot because he actually does do this in the anime. Problem is, we don't get any purple ki blast at all. So that's also a massive, massive drop right there. We get these pair of hands, and then we get these ones right there as well. So I want to bring it back to, real quick, this faceplate right here. This is the face Zarbon makes when he gets his ass kicked by Vegeta the second go around. After Vegeta pretty much loses to Zarbon the first time, Zarbon captures him, and then Zarbon, you know, brings him back. You guys don't know, if you guys know the whole story by now, right? Then eventually Vegeta gets stronger than Zarbon. He kicks his ass the second time around. It's actually even highlighted on the back of the box here. And this is also a major, major miss. So it's right there. You can see the box art. There's Vegeta beating him up this time around. Here's my problem. This was an $85 figure plus shipping and taxes. It comes out to a total of $101. That's what I paid for this, to have this figure, $101. I did not get $101 worth of a figure right here. I get no ki blast whatsoever, and in the anime, he releases a purple barrage of ki blast on Vegeta. And it's a perfect moment. He beats the crap out of Vegeta. To the fact that we don't get any at all. You couldn't have given me one just purple ki blast. I mean, he makes this, they give us this hand, which is perfect. This is the hand he makes when he shoots it out. You could have given me like just a single purple one, or just like a barrage of them shooting out together, like a cluster all printed together. That would have been really nice as well. The fact that we don't get any is, again, another red flag by SH Figuarts, charging us more, but we're not getting more bang for our buck. The other thing I mentioned about this faceplate right here, again, this is when he's getting his butt kicked. He's absolutely getting destroyed by Vegeta. He's pretty much about to die here. How easy would it have been, if you're not going to give me a ki blast, how easy would it have been to give me one more faceplate of this one, all battered and bruised and bloodied? I mean, you give me the option, by the way, too, of taking off his armor pieces. How easy would it have been to just give me a set of this armor pieces all damaged up right here, right? You could have given me an extra arm to pop off here and given me like a half like ripped sleeve, because that's how it was in the anime when he's pretty much losing. His hair's down, this is all ripped, and I believe this side right here, this piece of the armor is all just absolutely just torn apart. This one's holding on by a thread, I think half of it breaks off, and this one right here is just completely broken apart. How easy would it have been for them to print another one of these pieces? Because they already give you the option to take it off. How easy would it have been to give us damaged armor pieces, a bloody, battered up face with the hair coming down? It would have been very easy for them to print that out. You're talking about literally pennies on the dollar for a company like this. Because then you get basically 2 figures in one, right? You get full power Zarbon, and you get a battered up, bruised, damaged Zarbon. Basically giving you the option to customize 2 figures into one. If you're not going to give me the ki blast, if you're not going to give me any energy effects to have fun with this figure, and I got to go buy my own, which I hate doing that, but that's where we are with SH Figuarts. This is why, again, you know who else gives us, by the way, energy effects in almost every figure? Every third-party company. Demoniacal Fit, Tonson Arts, Black Hole Toys, PR Studios, which now is coming out with a Perfect Cell. They even come with blast effects. I mean, this is embarrassing, man. This is just not good. You're not getting the most bang for your buck. And if anything, it does feel like SH Figuarts is taking a big step backwards. So, sound off in the comment section if you guys agree or disagree with me on that one, because maybe I'm making too big of a fuss for it, but I would have gladly paid $10 more for this figure if I gotten customizable pieces of like armor, an arm that I can actually pop out of here and put on, and this whole sleeve is all battered and bruised. If I would have gotten one more faceplate with him, like, or maybe like this faceplate right here, right, and it's all bloodied, and if I would have gotten the option to actually have his hair come down a little bit, like maybe like all this hair is like, you know, I could put this in the back, it's all coming forward or something like that. It's not all perfectly, you know, done up like this one. I would have easily paid another $10 to have just those 3 pieces, or would have paid $10 more just to have like 1 or 2 blast effects in there, especially because in the show, he unleashes a barrage of purple ones. Again, I feel like just SH Figuarts has really been taking a step backwards this year, not a step forward. I was really having high hopes for this figure, and I just feel like I got absolutely a dud here of a figure. I think the proportions are way off. There's no detail in this figure whatsoever. Their paint always falls flat. I don't get the appropriate amount of accessories that I should for a premium figure, right? I bought this from Premium Bandai. I should get a premium figure. This does not feel like a premium figure at all. And I just feel like those other companies that I keep mentioning, Tonson, Demoniacal, Mythos Anime, whatever they're calling themselves now, Black Hole Toys, I feel like they are making some deep cuts into Bandai, and they are really doing a better service for the DBZ anime fans out there than SH Figuarts is. Final score for this figure, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. It's a barely passable figure. The only positive thing I can say is it does fill a void in my collection. I do like that the armor pieces are updated like this. I actually prefer it this way. And I guess you get you know, it's a big figure. You get a decent amount of plastic here. That's like all the things I could say. Everything else, I have nothing positive to say about this figure, really. I think this is just a massive dud, honestly. Definitely will go down as one of my most disappointing figures of the year, because I was really anticipating this. That's going to do it for me. Again, sound off in the comment section. If you made it this far, please hit that like button. And as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Catch you guys in the next review.